Natural Beauties, welcome back to my channel. It is your girl Cherie and you're here on Natural Beginnings TV, where we do natural hair and apparently we do nails too. Today I am going to share with you how I do my dip powder sets, and also a little bit about Rossi nails. They were kind enough to send me over this Glam powder nails trial kit, and I'm going to show you what it consists of and exactly the process for dipping my nails. This is beginner friendly. I was a beginner when I first started doing these. I'm not a nail tech, I'm not certified or anything like that. This is just the average person who is very determined usually about doing nails, and I get the job done. So in the Rossi Glam Nails Essentials Trial Kit, you receive a 1 2-ounce dip powder. You get to choose which color you want. This color is Sweetheart, and you receive a base coat, the activator, and the gel top coat. And these are listed as items 2, 3, and 4 in the order of the steps that you need to use them in. Step 1 is, I'm pretty sure it's a primer of some sort. They don't give you that because you can do this on your own with like alcohol. I actually have a primer that I've been using for a few years now. And there is also a step 5, which I believe is a cuticle oil that you can use, which is not, an absolute necessity. A lot of us have oil just kind of sitting around at home, so you don't have to worry about that. But you do get steps 2, 3, and 4 given to you because those are essential. And a few things that you may need in addition are a kabuki brush. I found these in my local dollar store. Pipettes, you can find those on Amazon. I'll put the link below in the video description box. A buffer block, and that orally was a primer solution that is really, really important, I believe, as well. And also some nail files. And I cannot do without my Red Rose Naturals body oil. I use this in place of cuticle oil to just kind of clean up and nourish my cuticles once I'm complete. And lint-free wipes will also be extremely helpful with this too. So to start off, I'm going in with my buffer block. I'm using the finest grit section to just gently remove any of the natural shine that's on my nails. And you kind of want to give your nails a base to stick to. And so the Prime Time that I have from Oral-B does that. I think it contains alcohol, kind of smells like alcohol and a mixture of like acetone, and that's what you want to put on your nail beds to kind of dry them out so that this base coat will adhere to your nails very well later on. This is a very important step. I do not suggest skipping that, so if you do not order a kit with step 1, make sure you get some kind of primer. And I usually go in and do 2 applications of the primer just to make sure any shine or any greasiness is removed. And then for step 2, we are going in with the base coat. This is also a very important step. You want to take care to make sure that you shake up your dip powder. Make sure you loosen it up, that there's no clumps, and that if it's a mixture, you want the color and the powder inside to be well mixed before you dip your nails. I make sure to go ahead and get my jar of dip powder open and any other tools that I need right there next to me before I start applying this base coat, because it doesn't dry super fast, but it does dry, and you want to make sure you have everything next to you just to make sure you get a proper application that doesn't dry out. So when you apply the base coat, you want to get a nice thin coat going, and most instructions for dip powder say to start with the first 3/4 of your nail away from your cuticle, and you kind of want to just build up an apex. You can kind of play around with this. I probably do a little bit more than 3/4 of my nail when I cover it with the base coat, and then on my next application of the base coat, I pretty much do the whole nail. You just really want to avoid getting the cuticle area because that's the hardest area to file away once you're done. So we're going to go in and I'm going to show you another nail. I try to dip at a 45-degree angle, which is what they suggest with the instructions. I kind of let my nail sit in there for a while just to give the powder some time to adhere, and then I kind of tap off my finger just to get any excess dust off or excess powder off, and I proceed to the next nail. Now you notice there's a bunch of powder and stuff all over my fingertips. I have an alternative way to apply powder to avoid that, and that's using the pipettes. I will kind of just like syringe style kind of squeeze in some of the powder and just kind of pour it all over the top of my nail bed, and I get a pretty nice even application doing this. I seen another nail YouTuber do this and I was like, oh man, I gotta get these pipettes, and it actually works very well, and these are very, very cheap to get. Like I said, I'm going to leave the link to these in the video description box because these have changed the game for me. So you can do dip powder, or you can dip your nails, or you can use a pipette and kind of spread the powder evenly all over your nail bed. And you finally go in with your kabuki brush once you're done with all 5 fingers. This allows the dip powder to set on the nails and gives it, more time to adhere. If you use the kabuki brush too soon and try to wipe away the excess powder, you may wipe off some of the powder that is trying to adhere to the base coat. So I always give it a little bit of time, and I just go through all my fingers before I wipe off the excess. And it's also really important that you do wipe off the excess before you do a second application of the base coat, because you want the application to be as smooth as possible, and if there's any excess powder left on the nail beds, it could result in a very lumpy set, and that is going to make filing a whole lot harder, and we don't want that. And this is just the second application of the base coat. You want to kind of play with this as well. I think they suggest 2 coats of base coat and dip powder. If you like a thicker set of nails, you could do 3. I usually end up doing 3, but you don't want to do too many because again, that makes the filing process a little bit longer, and you want nice smooth nails, not super thick, lumpy, clumpy nails. So I suggest 2 to 3. I also like to do like an application of clear to kind of seal the color in, because once you file, you're going to file away some of the dip powder, and you don't want to lose your color in the process. And here I'm just taking the cuticle scraper tool just to clean up any powder that got into my cuticle areas, and I'm doing that before I apply the activator. Now, applying the activator is pretty simple. You want to put a generous amount of activator over your 2 or 3 coats that you've done. The activator is going to essentially help to cure and solidify the dip powder and the base into a solid. So once you start the next fun part, filing, it will stay in place, and then it's not, going to rub away. It's basically going to harden the dip powder onto your nail bed so that you can have a nice clean set. So for step 3, you're going to allow the activator to dry for about 1 to 2 minutes, and then proceed to start filing. This is probably the hardest part of the entire process. Filing can take some time, especially using hand files. I actually prefer to use an e-file, and I do have one, but for the purposes of this video, it is beginner friendly. I am using a hand file to show you that it can be done. Not with this little flimsy star file right here though. This took this started to bend up. I got that from Dollar Tree. Don't get those. Get the ones that are really hard and are like 180 grit. Those work much better. And it probably takes me about 30 minutes to file and get my nails into the shape and the smoothness that I prefer to have. If you're brave and want to venture out like me, I can definitely recommend an e-file that you can use to, do this part of the process. And I'll put the link in the video description box. You guys let me know if you would like to see me use the e-file in my next dip powder video. And I'll definitely do a video showing you how I do the process with an e-file. So after the majority of the filing is done, I go in with my buffer block once again, and I just want to kind of smooth out any rough edges, and I use the fine side of the buffer block to do so. I'm sorry this is a little bit off camera there, but you get the point. You just want to make sure everything's nice and smooth. And then we go in with step 4, which is the top coat finishing gel. And you use this twice. So your very first coat is supposed to be quick, 2 or 3 strokes at the maximum. It's not very well thought out. It's very just quick and dirty. And then you go in with your second coat, and it's more controlled. Hopefully you can see it. It's supposed to be a more controlled coat. You cover your full nail, including the edges, the free edges, and the underside. You want to make sure everything is covered in there so that it seals off very nicely and you have that nice shine. And if you don't like shine, like sometimes I have certain colors that I don't mind being a little matte, I go in with a matte top coat. This is from OPI. And on one hand, this hand here, you can see, you probably can't see it, but this hand here, I'll insert pictures. I went in and I put the matte top coat to mattify, so I wouldn't have that high shiny pink. But the other hand, on your left side, my right, you can see that it is very shiny, and I kind of try to do a comparison here. But this is basically the end result. Those are my dip powder nails. They're not perfect, but they will do the trick for me, you guys. This is a super easy, super simple process. And just to wrap things up, I go in with my red rose body oil over my cuticles to, nourish them, moisturize them. They've been through a lot with the filing and the base coats and all the things that were applied on them. So you kind of just want to go in and treat them really nice. Make sure they're nice and lubricated, and they give you a nice shiny manicure once you're done. And that's pretty much it, you guys. Let me know what you think. Are you interested in doing the Rossi dip powder, dip nails? Was this a helpful how-to video? Let me know your thoughts. Give me a big thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button. And as always, don't forget to live out loud, own your truth, and let your light shine. I'll see you next time.